Right now, in a tank in Seattle, a mother octopus is quietly killing herself. The mother octopus hasn't eaten anything for 19 days and has even started peeling the skin off her own arms. It took scientists exactly 45 years to explain this. They're not starving and they're not sick either. The moment she laid her eggs, her body pressed a button. This is a self-destruction sequence, and once it starts, nothing can stop it, not even herself. This demise is one of the strangest deaths seen in the animal kingdom, and this chilling sacrifice gives the word motherhood a much deeper meaning. Most of us already know how strange animals octopuses are in general. 3 hearts, blue blood, and a brain spread throughout the body so that each arm can almost think for itself. But nothing about them is stranger than this. A female octopus mates exactly once in her life and lays her eggs. These eggs can sometimes number up to 50,000, lined up like beads on a string, and from that very moment she begins to die. First she stops hunting, then she stops eating altogether. Even if you put food in front of her, she refuses to eat. She wraps herself around the eggs and fans them with her arms all day, every day, to ensure oxygen circulation. Her body starts to deteriorate, muscles, tissues, everything begins to waste away. When she reaches the final stage, some females start doing something that looks as if they're harming themselves. They tear their own skin, twist their arms into knots, and bang themselves against the walls of the tank. By the time the eggs hatch, she has already died, or at most she dies within a few hours after that. For a long time, biologists assumed this was simply an extreme form of maternal sacrifice. A mother who loves her offspring so much that she forgets to take care of herself. It's a beautiful and emotional story, but it's wrong. That's not exactly how it is. In 1977, a psychologist from Brandeis University named Jerome Bodansky did something incredibly simple. Octopuses have an organ between their eyes called the optic gland. It's roughly the equivalent of our pituitary gland, a small control center that pumps out hormones. Bodansky surgically removed the optic glands of a group of mother octopuses right after they laid their eggs, and after the removal, the mothers abandoned their eggs and started eating again. They gained weight. Some of them even mated a second time. On average, they lived almost 6 months longer than they normally would have. Bodansky called this the octopus's self-destruction system. But then nothing else happened. For more than 40 years, no one could figure out exactly what that gland was secreting to cause all of this. Back then, there wasn't even technology advanced enough to examine it so closely. So this remained one of biology's stranger unsolved mysteries. The answer finally came in 2022 from scientists at the University of Chicago and Washington University, led by a researcher named Xian Wang. They used modern gene sequencing tools to monitor hour by hour what that tiny gland was doing chemically after mating. And they found not just a single signal, but 3 separate hormonal pathways that are activated simultaneously. One produces steroids related to pregnancy, while another produces a compound called 7-dehydrocholesterol, which is a precursor to cholesterol and is actually quite toxic in large amounts. The third one produces the building blocks of bile acids, which are the same type of molecules our liver uses to digest fat. In other words, the body starts producing the raw materials for its own death in 3 separate factories, all working at the same time. Some of these hormonal pathways exist in us as well. In studies conducted on rodents among mammals, scientists found strikingly similar chemistries related to stress and reproduction. This mechanism is not just a strange error unique to octopuses, but a very ancient biological code that evolution has used again and again, even in completely different animals separated by 500 million years of evolution. So why would evolution reinvent something like this from scratch? Why would a species develop a literal death switch? Octopuses are what biologists call semilparous, meaning they reproduce only once in their lifetime. They have exactly 1 chance to reproduce in their lives, and that's it forever. They don't get a second chance to lay another batch of eggs or raise more offspring. There is no long life afterwards. Every resource in their body, fat, protein, any remaining energy, either goes toward keeping them alive until those eggs hatch, or it never gets used at all. The ruthless logic behind this is actually this: If the mother octopus continues to live after laying her eggs, she becomes a competitor to her offspring. She might consume their food, accidentally eat them, or attract predators to their nest. That's why nature has come up with a very clear solution. The moment the eggs are laid, the mother's self-destruction process begins irreversibly. There is no alternative, no salvation or a plan B for this. Scientists know of 3 hormonal pathways. They know that removing the gland stops the process. But still, they don't fully understand why, once it starts, it can't be reversed on its own. Why isn't there an exit ramp built into it? While many other biological processes in nature have some kind of reset, why does evolution seem to be designed as a one-way street? Some researchers think there might be X signals that we haven't discovered yet. Is this a form of torment disguised as biology? Or is it the most extreme, purest form of parental love that evolution has ever designed? A body that, without exception and by design, gives literally everything it has. I honestly go back and forth on this, and I want to know what you think. Because the comments on this channel make more sense to me than most of the articles I read. Do you think this is a sacrifice, or is it just chemistry that only looks like sacrifice from the outside? Because if an entire living being's body can quietly, without making a sound, decide that this is worth dying for, then right now, in a tank in Seattle, a mother octopus is making exactly the same choice once again. Now, I'm heading to the comments to discuss this topic with you. I would really appreciate it if you like the video as you scroll down and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next one. Take good care of yourselves. See you soon.